Okay, let's try this again. So, I may or may not have already seen these knives. Sorry, guys. Also, I may or may not have uh, done the entire unboxing and first impressions without hitting the play button. Either that or this is the most fucked up case of deja vu I personally have ever experienced in my life. So, first, I normally start these videos off with a joke, and I am going to do that. But since most of my jokes, the vast majority of you will know, if you're looking at this video right now, it's because one of two reasons. You either stumbled upon this and you have no idea what you're looking at. If you like it, that's fantastic. If not, then move the fuck along. You are not welcome here. Anywho, so anyway, I normally do jokes that are like kind of dark humor focused, offensive sort of things because I think they're funny. So I figured, the other people that come here and see my videos, they know that I do those jokes and they like them. So I figured today I'm going to do a joke about like a dark humor joke, like not a dark humor joke, but a joke about dark humor. So let's see if you guys like it. What do dark humor and food have in common? Not everybody gets it. What's up, weirdos? Scott here. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the content. If you would do me a favor and follow me on Instagram, that would be wonderful. It's let's_do-it-up on Instagram. LETS_DOITUP on Instagram. You don't pee on Instagram. Anyway, so if you want to send a knife or knives into the channel for review, just send me an email at letsdiu79@gmail.com. Not 69, it's 79. letsdiu79@gmail.com. And today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, I'm going to be repeating an unboxing for you guys today. An unboxing and first impression on two knives that I bought, two budget knives that I bought to give away to you guys. I figured I'd continue doing this. I'm going to buy budget knives every once in a while. We're unbox them, review them just to get the exposure out there, and then I'm going to give them away to you guys because I don't need them. And today I have two CJRB knives to show you. I'm going to get rid of this one first. And we will show you this one, and then we'll show you the next guy. I'm very excited. So first of all, CJRB has really stepped up their game with their presentation of their product. Normally what you would get is something that you would get from like Civivi that I've recently unboxed on this channel, two Civivi knives. So Civivi, you just get a regular like cardstock box that contains the pouch, which is a decent quality pouch, and then you get all the little goodies on the inside of the pouch. With CJRB, they used to do exactly the same thing, just different branding. Now they're coming out with these nice, thick boxes that feel very sturdy in the hand. Nice embossing on the finish here. Instagram CJRB Cutlery. I'll give you their website there if you want that. And then you get a sticker on the outside of the box. Normally it says the name of the knife, but this one does not say that. I don't know why they didn't do that with this particular knife. Maybe they just forgot. Whatever. Anyway, they're nice boxes. Nice quality. You can feel they're nice and smooth. On the inside, they've got this little mountaintop print here with all their literature. Very, very nicely done. And then you get the pouch on the inside, which is just I don't know, it feels like it's a little better quality than what you used to get from them and what you still get from Civivi. These pouches just seem a little bit more quality than we used to get. And I'm not saying that that's something that we need. It's just nice. You know, they don't have to do this for the packaging. Nobody gives a shit about the packaging. I keep all my boxes in a drawer, and the only reason I keep them there is to keep track of the COAs, and in case anybody ever wants to buy one of my knives, I can sell it exactly as I received it. That's the only reason you need to be concerned about packaging. Anything other than that, if you're not planning on this being a legacy knife or whatever, then don't worry about it. Just the packaging is the packaging, but they're making an effort. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's get this box out of the way and show you the knife. I tend to talk too much on these guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. So this, you also get a very, very nice cleaning cloth in here, and a nice little packet of salt. I don't know why they always do that, but it's nice having the extra salt if you need it. So, get this out of the way. Whoops. Alright, now I didn't know if it was necessary to go through all this, but I just want to show you your unpackaging experience if you happen to buy one of these knives. This is what it's going to look like when you unbox it. So, this is a very, very beautiful knife from CJRB called the FRACK, and I absolutely love the frag patterning on the stainless steel scales here. So this obviously is going to be an affordable knife. This is I believe 65 or 75, something like that, which is not terrible. And I don't normally go for stainless steel scales on knives. They tend to be much heavier, which this I expected to be much heavier than it is, but it is still pretty substantially weighted in the hand. It's not heavy, I'm not trying to say that, but it does feel like a sturdy knife in the hand. So anyway, as I said, you've got stainless steel scales here with the plunge lock and a just absolutely gigantic AR RPM 9 blade. And anybody who has issues with AR RPM 9 because of the video that Laren did, just please go back and watch that video in its entirety. You'll see that he explains that CJRB didn't necessarily maliciously come out and do this with the AR RPM 9, calling it powder form steel. Laren said that he just thinks that they just were not educated enough to understand with what they were working. So if I can learn how to talk for a second. So AR RPM 9 is not a shit or horrible steel. CJRB is not a company that's out to kill everybody or anything like that. Just go watch the whole video so that you can understand the entire story. Anyway, so you've got a knife here which is, I believe, close to 9 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 just over 8.75 inches overall, which is huge. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches, just shy of 4 inches for the blade length, and just over 3.25 inches, between 3.25 and 3.75. Sorry, between 3.25 and 3.5 inches for the blade, which, I mean, that's a very, very good size knife for that kind of money, especially even with stainless steel liners or stainless steel scales. I don't know why I keep saying liners. But you would expect this knife to be heavier than it actually is with the size and all that. So the blade here, as I said, AR RPM 9. You've got a full flat ground blade here. Well, not quite full flat ground, I'm sorry. It goes up to about, I'd say, 80% the height of the blade. There's a flat that carries out to about 70% the length of the blade. And there's a swedge that starts about, I'd say about a quarter way down the blade and comes about all the way down to like 90% the length of the blade. There is a opening hole here which works very, very well, and a generous finger choil here, which I like very much. I like the way they did this. It looks like it's a very tall blade, so even being as long as it is, it's made to look even bigger just by how tall it is. You've got a little bit of jimping up here on the spine or the thumb ramp. There is a little bit of, I don't know, I feel like the way this hump here is ground, just looks a tiny bit wonky, but that's not something. I mean, it's a $75 knife, and it's a very large knife, so it's not going to be, you know, sheer gore of quality. Nice thin blade stock. I wouldn't call that super thin, but it does definitely give you plenty of thickness down out towards the tip. Gives you plenty of support there. Not that you should be prying with your knife. You definitely should stop doing that. Stainless steel scales here in the frag pattern with a little bit of milling here. It is not. It's not a super thin scale. But it's not a super thick scale either. It's not a super thick scale either. I don't know if I'll be able to show you or not. I actually was able. This is good because I forgot my flashlight on the last video. So I'm going to try to show you kind of the milling on the inside of the scales there, if you can see that. So there is quite a generous amount of milling on the inside of those scales, if I'm able to show you that properly. I don't know if I can or not. And I also wanted to look at this to see if I could tell if this guy, yeah, those are bearings. Okay, so I couldn't remember not that I couldn't remember, I couldn't tell if this was on bearings or PBWs, but this is definitely bearings. As you can see, it's got decent action. The finger flick just makes the blade rocket right out, and then there's a little bit of lock stick there, just a whisper of lock stick. And then, you know, you disengage it and it obviously falls right back down into the handle with that big heavy blade there. It's smooth and it's controlled. It doesn't feel like it's just all wobbly and stuff when you have it in between. It's still very sturdy, and then it does lock up to a very solid lockup. This not being a frame lock or anything like that, it makes it a little bit more comfortable in the hand. Or rather, just the operation of it. Manipulating the blade is very easy, and the detent feels very good for being a finger flick operated only knife. The thumb flick works pretty good, and you can slow roll this as well, so that's not too bad. Let's see here. The grip on this guy, it's ergonomically very comfortable, especially where they have that thumb ramp there. Or you can choke up a little further and you can get your finger up on the blade here for a little bit more control. The pinch grip looks pretty good. I like that, especially with that finger choil there. Keeps you protected from the blade. So plenty of precision work there as well. You have a stainless steel pocket clip on the other side here. Nice little glory hole there. Don't know what we would have done without that. A little bit more jimping here on the back of the blade, kind of like Hinderer does. And then there's no jimping at all on the bottom of the scales. The pocket clip is not inset. That's not the end of the world, especially as long as this pocket clip is. And you know, this is completely deep carry. You know, you won't be able to see anything coming out of your pocket on this guy at all. T8 hardware, it looks like, for the scales, T8 for the pivot, and looks like T6 for the pocket clip. I kind of would have liked to see the pocket clip be inset, but I mean that's not killing the knife for me. Nice standoffs here, nice decorated standoffs, and then obviously this pocket clip is reversible, making this a truly ambidextrous knife. Just a quick run on this. I didn't show you the size reviews or the size comparisons or the weight or the blade stock or anything. I forgot to do that. I've been wanting to do that on my reviews. So compared to the Rat Model 1, this guy's going to be a little bit longer. And compared to the Rat Model 2, this guy is going to be obviously monstrously larger. Next up, we've got the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. That is obviously going to be a little bit shorter than the FRACK, and the Para 3 is going to be dwarfed by the FRACK, as you can see. Carry profile, when compared to the Rat model, the Rat 3, why do I keep doing that? I was really surprised by this, guys, but yeah, this is actually a little thinner than the Para 3, which is fantastic. Fantastic. I think this was the tallest part of the knife when I compared it, and it's tall, but it's not anywhere near as tall as the Para 3. So this will be fantastic in the pocket. Let's get a weight on it. This was another thing that I was really surprised by. So I expected this to be at least a 6-ounce knife, if not heavier. So check this out, guys. 5.1 ounces. Now, that's not knock your socks off, blow your hair back, oh my god, that's the light knife. But for all stainless steel construction, I mean, come on. Something this big, that's I'm mildly impressed by that. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm over the moon about it. And let's get a blade stock. I don't think the blade stock was too bad either. Can I get a thickness? Sorry, I still got to do it sometimes. Yeah, I think that's around 125 thousandths. So earlier it read 124, this time it's reading 124, but it's probably closer to 125, which that's not going to be earth-shatteringly different, but I have to say it anyway, just because I am who I am. I am who I am, and that's all that I am. So that's fantastic. I like this guy a lot. I'll spend some time with it. I'll do the review on it. And then I'm going to give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Sorry. Okay, let's do the next one. So get you guys out of here. Not that any of you are still probably around. Anyway, probably just fast forwarded to this already. You probably already saw this part. Oh, come on, be a dick. Okay, sorry. All right, so this one is the CJRB HECTARE. You still get the same cloth and all that in there. Very nice pouch. Nice pooch. Nice little pooch. All right. So the HECTARE is something that I did not expect to like at all. It's a smaller knife. I like the aesthetics of it. I like how it works. I like a lot about it, but I didn't know that I would like the way that it works until I got it, obviously. So this is a smaller knife that you guys are used to me showing off on the channel. But in my opinion, it's the perfect size for an EDC knife, and I think a lot of people would be served very, very well with something like this. So I am a fan. This is only a $40 knife, very affordable, and I think a very good deal, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a very good option for somebody who has a small budget but wants a decent knife. So we're gonna look at the size here. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just over 7.25 inches overall. That's a little below my cutoff for something that I would buy for myself. But again, at this price, I don't think that should be an issue. 2 points. Well, no, I'm going to call that a 3-inch blade. I'd say between 3 and 3.25 inch blade, depending on how you're looking at those scales. But the cutting edge itself looks like it's just a hair shy of 2.75 inches with this generous finger choil here. Almost a full flat grind. You've got just, I'd say, about like maybe 10% of the blade up here that's not grounded in the flat. And there's no swedge, I don't believe. I remember seeing, actually I think this might be a swedge. Yeah, this is a swedge. Okay, so right here you see the line. This is the flat grind, this is a swedge. And that stops right at about 60% the length of the blade. Nice piercing tip on this guy. Opening hole looks nice. That's cut down a little bit, or knocked down on the edges. That looks fantastic. Nice chamfering there. Nothing really going on the top of the spine of the blade, but I like how natural it looks. It's just the solid line all the way down to the tip. And then you've got a little bit of jimping here. Nice and grippy, but not too grippy. It's not aggressive at all. On the back here, you just see the AR RPM 9. Let me give you a close-up view. And again, if you've got an issue with the RPM 9, then please go watch that video that Laren did and dispel your false knowledge, I guess I would say. So yeah, stainless steel pocket clip, T6 screws in there. Those are inset very, very nicely. Again, I wouldn't mind the pocket clip itself being nested. And then they only really need to use, well, I guess they would still have to use 2 screws. But your standard CJRB CVV pocket clip here. Nice, beautiful textured G10. This is kind of like Spyderco's peel ply in my opinion, but there are some differences. So very subtle differences. Makes it nice and grippy. Doesn't feel coarse, but it doesn't really feel smooth either. Nice matte finish. It doesn't get too shiny on the edges or anything like that. And you got some T8 screws on the show side here. Believe that pivot is a T8, but I could be wrong. Omega springs with this crossbar lock here. This feels exactly like a Benchmade crossbar lock. It feels exactly like an Axis lock. It takes a minute to get used to the tension or the reverse pressure from those springs, getting this guy deployed all the way, because it does feel like an Axis lock, but it kind of operates a little tighter than an Axis lock. As you can see there, I actually gave it a little bit of wrist and it didn't deploy all the way out. I feel like after I use this for a little bit and the surfaces smooth out, I feel like that's going to start to improve. And whoever I end up giving this to, I'm going to let them know about that just to keep them in the loop of what's happening. If they don't like the action or something, I can make some suggestions to them on what they can do. But unfortunately, this is not the kind of system that Kaiser just came out with where you can adjust the tension on that Omega spring. So you don't have that option here. But it is a comfortable knife. And as you can see, has just some very, very basic, some very classic knife lines that I really, really appreciate. I like the shape of this drop point blade. I really love the way they ground it. I like the finger choil a lot. That's what she said. I like the way the Axis lock works, but I feel like it needs to relax just a little bit. Let's get some size comparisons on this guy before I forget to do that again. So the Rat Model 1 obviously is going to be quite a bit larger than this knife, and this knife is going to be much closer to the size of the Rat Model 2, as you can see. The PM2, I'm guessing, is going to be quite a bit longer than this knife. And the Pair 3 is obviously going to be much closer to the size of this knife. Just a hair shorter, I'd say. And let's check out the carry profile. What do we say, guys? Can I get a thickness? So, looks like it's just a hair slimmer than the Pair 3. And height, obviously, is not going to be an issue on this knife. Nowhere near as tall as the Pair 3. So the carry profile is good. Let's get a weight on this guy just to see how light it is. I'm going to guess somewhere in the vicinity of 4 ounces. Wow! Holy shit! That does not seem sub 3 ounces to me. Huh. Okay, 2.7 ounces. Maybe somebody else will feel differently about that. The centering is perfect on this. Looks very, very nice. Very, very nice. And lockup is solid. Let's check the thickness on the blade stock. 106, 105. I'm going to go with 105. 105 thousandths. That is a very, very thin blade stock. 105 thousand. We're approaching TRM Atom blade stock thickness there. So very comfortable, very snappy, especially going back into the handle. And another thing I've mentioned to you guys before, sometimes with this Axis lock, I don't know if it's the weight of the blade is made, the shape of it, the way it's ground. I have no idea what's happening on the tang and that crossbar lock and the little choil here that it stops on. But sometimes if you have a knife with an Axis lock, generally this happens. When you pull that Axis lock back, if the blade's too heavy or if it's just moving too fast or whatever, it will hit that stop pin or hit that Axis lock and it will kind of bounce back a little bit. So you have to be real careful with that so that you don't cut your fingers or anything. That does not seem to be a problem with this knife at all. I've been playing with it for a few minutes now, and it doesn't do that bouncing when it goes back into the handle. It kind of just keeps it hugged in there nice and tight as you let go of the lock bar. So this works very, very well. I don't know if I showed you the milling on this guy or not already, but they do have some nested liners here, which are very generously milled out. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but they did a really good job with the liners on this guy. I almost didn't even notice that they were there. I figured it was just cartridge liner. But yeah, this looks really good. I like that a lot. And it's nice and comfortable. Not too much going on here on the handle. So you can pretty much put your fingers wherever the hell you want to. That finger choil works real nice. It's a nice generous choil, so even somebody with sausage fingers like me can get this into hand and be nice and comfortable and safe with it. The jimping is in the perfect position. The opening hole works very, very nicely. That's what she said. And I like the look of the blade. Just the simple, classic aesthetic of a knife. This kind of reminds me of the bug out, but I've never actually handled one, so I'm not going to say that this is just like that or not. Is there anything else, guys? Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. If you're still here, more power to you. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And stay up, weirdos. Take it easy. Bye.